Taylor Swift and her boyfriend Travis Kelce hold hands as they leave Arrowhead Stadium after the Chiefs vs. New Orleans Saints game. On Monday, October 7th, Taylor Swift went to Arrowhead Stadium to cheer on her boyfriend Travis Kelce. Taylor Swift is 3-0 this season when it comes to home game attendance and rooting for Travis Kelce and the Kansas City Chiefs. The singer showed up to Arrowhead Stadium before kickoff to witness the New Orleans Saints matchup. She wore a gray plaid dress with red accents, knee-high black platform boots, a heart-shaped purse and her signature red lip. She was accompanied by her dad, Scott Swift, while Swift missed an unremarkable performance by Kelce in Week 3. She did miss his breakout game against the Chargers in Week 4. Against a divisional rival, Kelce had his best day of the season, catching 7 passes for 89 yards. Though Kansas City is undefeated, Kelce hasn't played up to his usual standard this year. Through 4 games, he is averaging the fewest yards per reception and yards per game of his career. He also has no touchdowns entering Monday. The Chiefs' offense definitely could use Kelce's contributions. The team is missing last season's leading rusher, Isaiah Pacheco, after he broke a fibula in Week 2, as well as its leading receiver, Rashee Rice, who is reportedly likely out for the season. Jason, Kylie and Travis Kelce's parents attended Kelce's Car Jam fundraiser over the weekend and celebrated Travis's 35th birthday on Saturday. Swift attended the first and second games of the regular season as the Chiefs played the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. However, she missed both away games in Atlanta and Los Angeles. The Chiefs are 4-0. In 11 days, Swift will return to the Eras Tour stage in Miami, Florida. The last time she had a 2-month break from tour, she arrived in Paris a week early to rehearse. In all fairness, she and her dancers were also switching up the show, scrambling the order of the eras and adding a Tortured Poets department section. Swift's backup dancer, Cameron Saunders, who famously shouts a line during We Are Never Getting Back Together, is rooting for his brother Colin Saunders. A defensive tackle for the Saints. When NBC reporter Fletcher Mackel asked Colin about who Cameron would be cheering for, the defensive tackle said, "Me, of course. He don't care about the Chiefs, he cares about his brother." As the Chiefs took on the New Orleans Saints at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, their first home game in 3 weeks, Taylor continued her fall fashion in a maroon plaid off-the-shoulder fit with wedge boots and a Vivienne Westwood clutch. But her makeup was the most bejeweled accessory of all, as she rocked a red lip and glitter freckles, and with Kylie Kelce and Jason Kelce also in attendance of the game, the singer appears to be spending time with his family in Kansas City before she resumes her Eras Tour on October 18 in Miami. Her outing comes just over 1 year after she made waves when she joined her boyfriend's mom Donna Kelce in his private box for the Chiefs' September 24, 2023 game. The event occurred months after Travis gave her a shout-out on his podcast and quickly fueled romance rumors that the two confirmed later that fall. And since making her Chiefs cheer section debut, Taylor has often joined his parents Donna Kelce and Ed Kelce in the stands, including at the team's September 15 game against the Cincinnati Bengals, during which her own mom Andrea Swift tagged along. But while both Travis and Taylor are reaching new heights in their careers amid their romance, for Donna, the similarities between them have nothing to do with their fame. "I know that they're both friendly," the Kelce matriarch told Martha Stewart on iHeart Podcast's The Martha Stewart Podcast. "They're both generous. They're both loving. They're both caring individuals." Taylor has attended more than a dozen of Travis games since they quietly began dating last summer, including the 2024 Super Bowl in February, in which the Chiefs beat the San Francisco 49ers. Taylor's mom and dad and Travis' parents all got together in the Kelce family's star-studded suite in Allegiant Stadium. When the Kansas City Chiefs take the field on the Monday Night Football stage against the New Orleans Saints, preserving the club's undefeated record will be of the highest priority. With that said, multiple individual players can also make waves if they hit specific benchmarks with good efforts. Tight end Travis Kelce's numbers bounced back last weekend against the Los Angeles Chargers, yet he still hasn't found the end zone this season. If quarterback Patrick Mahomes throws him a touchdown on Monday, the duo will break a third-place tie for the most touchdown connections between two players in NFL history. Additionally, Kelce himself can take an outright hold of 5th place in touchdowns by a tight end if he adds one to his current 74 total. passing legends like Jimmy Graham, duo record, and Jason Witten, solo record, in with one score would be quite the feat. Speaking of big-time games versus the Chargers, Chris Jones was dominant and logged multiple sacks for the first time this season. It was the superstar defensive tackle's best effort of the year thus far, earning him AFC Defensive Player of the Week honors. With half a sack on Monday, he'd passed Justin Houston for the fourth most career sacks in Chiefs history. Having already owned the franchise record for an interior rusher, Jones's success can now even be compared to those whom the game is built to favor more as pass rush specialists. Trent McDuffie is coming off a career season, one that saw him set a new personal best in sacks with 3. He needs 2.5 more to tie the franchise record for most sacks by a cornerback in Kansas City history. Not only that, but he's 4 forced fumbles away from making it into the top 10 for overall defenders to play for the franchise. Reaching either of those marks against New Orleans is extremely unlikely, but it's still important to shed light on McDuffie being that close despite having only 31 regular season starts under his belt. The New Orleans Saints have a big game today against the Kansas City Chiefs. Playing on Monday Night Football, the primetime game will be nationally televised, and it will be the only NFL game played Monday, which means everyone will be locked in. The Saints are 2-2, dropping their last 2 games in heartbreaking fashion, and they need to get back in the win column. In order to do that, New Orleans has to do something no team has done this season: beat Kansas City. The Chiefs are 4-0, and they've won the last 2 Super Bowls, so they are a tough test. This is undoubtedly a big game, so while the Saints are hoping their play will do the talking, they are also making sure they are going to look good, wearing a special uniform. The color rush uniform consists of a white jersey with gold numbers, and white pants with a gold stripe. Both the jersey and pants have black accents. In the past, the Saints have worn this uniform with gold helmets or black helmets. On Monday, the team will be wearing the alternate black helmets. New Orleans fans have been pretty vocal about not liking the black helmets. It doesn't help that the Saints don't have much success when they wear the black helmets. New Orleans is 0-3 when wearing the black helmets with the color rush uniform. That compares to a 9-6 record when the gold helmets are paired with the color rush jerseys. 15 games is a much larger sample size than 3, but things haven't gone well for the Saints and the black helmets. They'll try to change that on Monday against the Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs need to have a next man up mentality. With all the injuries they've suffered, they will need to dig deep on the roster to find more production. Fortunately for them, they had several options to choose from, at least when it comes to the running back position. With that in mind, Matt Derrick of Chiefs Digest reported that Kareem Hunt would get the nod as the starter against the New Orleans Saints on Monday night. This isn't much of a surprise at this point, as he was their workhorse back in the win over the Los Angeles Chargers. Hunt turned back the clock and had quite an efficient outing in his return to Andy Reid's team. Also, with undrafted free agent Carson Steele losing a fumble, it didn't take long before he lost his ground to Hunt. The Chiefs also activated RB Clyde Edwards-Helaire from injured reserve, but he's currently listed as doubtful with an illness. Isaiah Pacheco is still sidelined and will miss at least another month as he nurses a gruesome leg injury. As for the receivers corps, Derek reports that Nico Remigio and Justin Ross both got first-team reps this week, as Rashee Rice and Mecole Hardman won't be able to suit up because of multiple injuries. Despite all that, the Chiefs are still undefeated and sitting on a perfect 4-0 record as they look to win 3 Super Bowls in a row. Week 5 of the NFL season culminates with a Monday night matchup between the New Orleans Saints and Kansas City Chiefs. The Saints travel to Kansas City with a 2-2 record, dropping their last 2 in the final minute. Kansas City counters with a 4-0 mark and is looking to become the first team to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls. Both teams come in with several key injuries. The Saints are battered on both sides of the ball. Particularly concerning will be an offensive line that will definitely be without 2 starters and a third, LG Lucas Patrick, listed as a game-time decision. Worsening matters is the fact that 2 of the primary backups along the line will also be sidelined by injury. This may put the onus on a New Orleans defense that's had crucial breakdowns in the last 2 weeks to cost victories. The Saints look to bounce back defensively, but are missing a few key pieces on that side of the ball as well. They'll also need to do it against a formidable offensive tandem in QB Patrick Mahomes and coach Andy Reid. With Rice out for several weeks, many are switching their attention to rookie wideout Xavier Worthy.